Webinar Episode 3, College Financial Aid Opportunities for Immigrant Students. This webinar helps inform immigrant students and their parents about the different options available that can help make dreams of college a reality for our students. Hello, my name is Dr. Nilka Aviles. I'm a Senior Education Associate at IDRA, former principal and current university professor. I'm here with Diana Canizales, who represents the VOE, and VOE stands for Ventanilla de Orientación Educativa. Welcome again, Diana, and thank you for being here with us this morning. We're trying to work on this webinar that will help people learn about the financial aid opportunities for immigrant students.
Thank you. It is always a pleasure to be with you all.
Thank you again, Diana, for joining us this morning. I'm glad you're joining us to talk about this important topic because immigrant and first-generation college students often have some of the greatest financial needs in trying to accomplish their dreams here in Texas or in the United States. I want to ask a question that I know you get a lot from families, and that is, what are the financial aid options for students in general and for immigrant students in Texas in particular?
Well, fortunately in our state, we do have several options. We have the federal, state financial aid, student loans from banks, and many scholarships provided by colleges or local organizations. I would like to emphasize three of them. The first one is the federal financial aid that you can apply for using the free application for federal student aid known as FAFSA. The second one would be the state financial aid. You can apply for using the Texas application for state financial aid known as FAFSA. And the third one would be the scholarship guide by the Mexican American Legal Defense and Education Fund, which is also known as MALDEF.
Very good. Can you explain who fills out really the FAFSA and who fills out the TASFA?
Yes, Dr. Aviles. Well, it depends on the student circumstances. Most of the students with a social security number fill out the FAFSA, but if they don't have a social security number, or if they only have a social security number through DACA, they need to fill out the TASFA. Immigrant students, regardless of their immigration status, are eligible to apply for the TASFA, but undocumented students are not eligible for federal financial aid. You have to be a legal permanent resident or a U.S. citizen in order to receive college financial aid from the U.S. government.
Okay, now that when you refer to undocumented students, does that include students with DACA?
That is right. Unfortunately, DACA students are not eligible for federal financial aid. That said, immigrant students, regardless of their immigration status, do have the right in Texas to attend college, even though they're not eligible for financial aid from the federal government.
Okay, thank you for clarifying that. But can you now tell us a little bit about FAFSA? Give us more information about FAFSA.
Of course. Well, FAFSA again stands for Free Application for Federal Student Aid. This form of financial aid assistance can cover some college expenses based on each family economic need. Also, this application helps students to access loans, scholarships, Pell Grants, as well as work-study program, which helps students earn money for a part-time work while they're also studying in college or university. Every school year, over $150 million in the federal financial aid is distributed among 13 million students all over the U.S.
Wow. So when should students apply for the FAFSA?
Students can start filling out applications beginning October the 1st each school year. And it is very important for the students seeking admission as an incoming college freshman to complete the FAFSA as soon as it is available on October 1st. The financial aid funds begin to deplete as applications are reviewed and awards are given to the students. So the longer students wait to submit an application, the less money they will be available to them as funds being to dwindle. Therefore, the faster students submit, the better their chances of receiving more money when financial aid awards are made.
That's great, and that's very important. Now, can you tell us a little bit about the FAFSA and who is eligible to apply for it?
Sure. Well, FAFSA is meant for students who are ineligible for federal aid through FAFSA. To be eligible for FAFSA, students must have or complete the following requirements, we can say. They must have to graduate from a Texas high school or have received a GED certificate in Texas State. They also have lived continuously in Texas for 3 years before graduating from a high school or receiving a GED certificate. Have lived in Texas the year before enrolling in college and sign an affidavit, which is a sworn statement that they will be applied to become U.S. permanent residents as soon as they are eligible to do so.
Excellent. Sounds like the state's way of acknowledging that these students, even if they're undocumented, that they grew up and went to school in Texas, and this way they should be considered to be residents in Texas. So what advice do you have about students applying for the FAFSA?
As with the FAFSA funds go quickly because they are distributed on a first-come, first-served basis. The application opens up July, and the students need to complete the application as soon as possible. Texas priority deadline for many institutions or higher education is January the 15th. It is recommended that FAFSA applications complete and submitted this application and any other required documentation to the financial aid office prior to the state's priority deadline date.
Okay, that is very important, those deadlines and times when the application actually opens up. And where can students access and submit the FAFSA?
Well, the application can be downloaded from collegefortexans.com or from the Texas Higher Education Coordinating Board website at the cv.state.tx.us. A student should submit the FAFSA directly to the college they plan to attend.
So that is very important. Now, if students need help filling out either the FAFSA or the FAFSA, who can they go to for assistance and support?
Well, in this case, Dr. Aviles, it can be their high school counselors are good to start while the students are in high school, planning going to college. Also, some cities have community centers that specialize in helping students to apply for college and for financial aid. For example, here in San Antonio, we have Cafe College that helps students fill out their FAFSA or FAFSA forms.
So bottom line is that all students should apply for college, regardless of their financial status, because there is some form of financial assistance to help them with the expenses. Additionally, students can also work part-time either at the university, because there's many jobs opportunities there, or even outside the college, in the immediate areas, so that they can still get some assistance financially and they can still pursue their dreams.
Yes, that is absolutely correct. Dr. Aviles. One question I get a lot in the community has to do with the eligibility for in-state tuition. I know that IDRA and its partners have worked a lot on that issue here in Texas. Can you talk a little bit more about who's eligible for in-state tuition?
Sure. Now, this isn't true in every state, but here in Texas and in over about 12 states or so, the in-state tuition rate is extended to undocumented students who meet certain criteria. For example, in Texas, the same undocumented students I mentioned earlier who qualify for the use of FAFSA to apply for state financial aid are also eligible to pay in-state tuition rates because they are classified as Texas residents for these purposes, which is a great thing to do because the out-of-state tuition is really, really like 2 or 3 times more than what the residence rate is. So that's actually a plus. So Texas actually was the first state in 2001 to pass this law extending in-state tuition rates to undocumented students. So that's a great thing for Texas to have done. And it's actually benefiting many students here in our state.
That's really important because at some schools, the international student tuition or out-of-state tuition rates can be double, triple, or even quadruple at the amount of tuition you have to pay for in-state tuition. Okay, so the last thing I wanted to touch on the scholarship at the beginning of this webinar, I mentioned that the MALDEF scholarships guide, which is an extensive list of scholarships, including many that do not require you to be a citizen or legal permanent resident to apply. And while we don't have enough time to review the scholarship options in detail, I strongly suggest that the students visit the links below this webinar to find out more information. I also wanted to quickly mention the suggestions made by MALDEF. They recommend all the students to contact the organization that offers any scholarship that they are interested in and ask if they meet the qualifying criteria to apply for and receive the scholarship. Reviewing other scholarship lists provided at the end of this document. Other suggestion that MALDEF made for students is that they have to ask or make sure that they ask a guidance counselor who are also familiar with the scholarships and can serve as valuable resource. And also be aware of scholarship scams. Do not pay any organization, please, or company or any individual to help you apply for scholarships. Conduct a scholarship search or provide access to a scholarship list. Some scholarships programs require a minimal application processing fee, but should never ask for a higher fee to apply for a scholarship.
As always, Diana, thank you so much for your information, especially that is going to help not only our students, but also inform the parents of the possibilities that are available for students. Our time is up, but if you or parents want additional information about financial aid options, please feel free to reach us at IDRA at 210-444-1710 or visit our website at idra.org to look out on IDRA's YouTube channel for more VOE webinars. If you have additional questions, please contact Diana at dcanizales, is CANIZALES.voe@gmail.com. Thanks everyone, stay home and be well.